Hello, everyone. Welcome to MUZILOG and MUZILOG Woman's platform. We are beginning a new venture of MUZILOG Woman, which is a new partnership with MUZILOG, which is bringing, thank you, bringing to the forefront women of creativity, of music, of dance, of artistic creation, celebrating our cultures. And today, I am very, very blessed to be speaking to Debra Hare-Bey.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, the founder and goddess of International I Love Braids Day.
Whoop, whoop.
And she also did some other things that we're going to talk about. She was part of Braids and Beauty magazine, Braids and Beauty magazine.
Yes.
So we're going to discuss all of that. We're going to get some good information, and we're going to find out from the goddess
Yes.
of braids.
Yeah.
I've named you, girl, the goddess of braids.
Yes, I will wear that name so proudly.
Yes,
literally
please
so
do.
proudly.
Yes. So to begin, please give us an opportunity to know who you are. What do you want everyone to know about you first and foremost?
Okay, so first and foremost, as you mentioned, I do a lot of things. There are a lot of titles under my belt. The one that I hold near and dear to my heart, believe it or not, is simply a braider. I am a master braider, and that is a big deal to me.
Excellent. That's excellent. So I was watching this beautiful video.
Yes.
That is now available on YouTube.
Yes.
And I did not note who the creators were and who your participants were. But if you give some information about where to find that video and the title and, the information about it. I watched it. It's absolutely informative and beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you could give us a little nugget about it, and then people can go and watch it. And it's brief, but it's chock full of information.
It is chock full of information. Everyone that watched it was so wowed, and everyone that watched it thought it was way too short, and it was just, it came in just right at giving enough information to have you want more and be super proud. So it's not really about me. It's more about the industry that I love and that I've committed my life to, literally. And so I spent the large majority of my life in natural hair care by choice. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, but I chose to specialize in natural hair specifically. For me, has always been something that I've always gone back to. I think we were all in the craze of relaxers and straight hair and, the jerry curl and all of that. But natural hair, braiding specifically, was always the thing that carried me through beautifully. So I could literally go to sleep and wake up the same way. I could go out and come back the same way, looking as gorgeous as I left. And that was a big deal for me.
Okay. Well, I can definitely attest to having the straight hair experience. Actually, I have a very coarse C. I think it was a C. The tightest.
FYI,
the
that's
tightest
the good stuff right there.
Because
that's the stuff that will take you from kinky to curly to braids to an afro to locks. Like
these are locks now.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. And being growing up as a young girl, being told I had nappy hair and everything like that, I hated my hair. I hated it because it was hard to manage. It was hard to comb. I used to get hit in the head with the comb or the brush for crying because, getting burnt on your ears because you're getting, your hair straightened and everything. And I don't really want to knock the women who do other things with their hair. But for women like yourself who celebrate natural hair, it is a comfort for us who also celebrate ourselves and celebrate our heritage and stuff. And are able to fall in love with our hair. So I thank you and I commend you so much for what you do. So you spoke about Brooklyn.
Yes.
And so, what I'd like you to do is to share with our audience an experience of braiding. Maybe you were braiding on a stoop, or maybe you were
Girl, you know that's true.
braiding. Yeah,
You know
maybe you
that's true
have
for
a
sure.
one of your most fondest experiences braiding on the stoop. How about that?
Wow. So I was that girl growing up braiding on the stoop. And
Mm-hmm.
back then, that was the way to get all the cute guys, right?
Mm.
They would come to your stoop, you had the skill to put it down. And so, you were doing two things. You would meet the guys, you were
Mm-hmm.
getting the job done by doing their hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
so loved it. I really have this love affair with braids that have been with me for such a long time. And this is a quick little story. And so my mom, like everybody else, would always send me to the parlor. And the parlor was the lady on the block that was the go-to person with the straightening, right? With the
Yeah.
what do you call that? The
The
thing you put in the
blowing, the
fire.
blow
No,
drying
the
curl.
straightening comb.
Oh, the straightening comb.
The
Yeah.
straightening comb,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would go and get my hair done, and lo and behold, I would come home and braid it. And my
Mm-hmm.
mom would say, "Well, what's the point of that? I might as well just not send you,
Right.
right?" And
Right.
so that is just, kind of how my love affair is just so true and authentic for me, right? It's not for everybody, but for me, it's just an authentic fit.
Right, right. And one thing that I find very interesting, I visited Ghana this year,
Yeah,
and I was there for about a month, and you would be quite surprised at how little natural hair is celebrated there.
I know.
It's
I know.
very
I know.
it really, really was surprising to me. Now, I did see a few braiders. They have master braiders there, of course.
Yes,
But they usually braid for tourists.
I know.
And I
I
thought
know.
it was very, very interesting. This is something that MUZILOG Woman is going to explore.
Yeah,
So we'll probably have you back at some point.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of which, tell me how the culture outside of America influenced some of your styles, um, your desire to move forward
Hmm.
with professional braiding. Tell us some of your experiences.
Well, I'm going to go back to where you just left off with Ghana. And so my history with Braids and Beauty is that, I started off contributing as just an article, and the article went from two to a column, and then three columns, and then eventually the associate editor. And a
Mhm.
lot of the research that I had to do to quantify this information I was giving for braids came from Ghana in terms of the books. I would go to the Schomburg often. That's where I was able to do a lot of my research. And
Mhm.
it was always from Ghana. And so Ghana, is always that place that I want to travel. I have not had the pleasure of going to Ghana, but I would love to go there as a, like a sisterhood to connect and see for myself the beauty of where some of this stuff came from, even though you said that these women are no longer wearing it, and the way that we reflect braids in that way. Um, but I do think that there's a strong history with tribal, right? In terms of what tribe you belong to, what's your status,
Mhm.
where do you live specifically? Because all those things dictate your hairstyle. And
Right.
so, those things are still traditionally done. We may not see it so much, but those things are
Mhm.
still traditionally done.
Mhm. Let me ask you as a professional and also as a black woman, why do you feel that so many black women, excluding the fact that um, we have not been always celebrated as the standard of beauty,
Have not.
which
Have
we
not.
are, but why do you think we continue to resist? In Ghana specifically, you will see political figures wearing wigs. You will see the women on the trotros, which is the little transportation bus. You will see them wearing wigs, oftentimes wearing wigs so often that they're worn.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I understand that it's a Western tradition, But what do you think professionally? Because you have interacted with women who have desired them or who have been resistant to getting braids,
Right.
or going natural. What is your opinion or your thoughts about why our women resist what
So
others desire?
So here's the thing that no other culture experienced what we experience in terms of reflecting who we are and being ourselves. That's not something that we can actually do. And so if you're trying to feed your family, if you're trying to get a particular job, if you're trying to have a certain standing in the community, that is not something that has been received well, both within the community and outside of the community. And you see people talking about that a lot more now because we have a bigger voice. And so um, I always took a stand to give women their power back because that is something that I demanded for myself. But I was fortunate enough that I didn't have that happen to me where that stopped me from getting a particular job or, getting a particular position or those things didn't happen. But that doesn't mean that that's not real. And so you hear more voices now, and I think we see braids more than ever. And we see it in a vast array of different positions and ages, and it's such a lovely sight to see because we are wearing it really proudly.
Yeah. I've done colors and all kinds of things, and people are just like, like, this is so amazing. So I thought about it. I thought about going to Ghana, and like when I went, I was going to do the whole colors. But every time I looked online, I never saw our women express with their hair. And what's amazing to me, and what I really thank you for, is celebrating women who express through their hair, and girls and men who express through their hair, because it is a form of expression. It has been used, as you said, in our culture. So I thank you so much for
You're
that.
so welcome. It's such a joy for me. It's not only a part of our culture, but it's an opportunity to have our version of beautiful. It's beautiful. And you'll oftentimes hear me say things like fabulous and beautiful and gorgeous. And that's because it is. Because oftentimes people use other descriptive terms that are not so wonderful to describe our hair, which and then describes us, right? And so you talked about the hate and not being in love. And it's not because your hair is not amazing. And I can't say that enough. Our hair is amazing.
That's why quite often they're always like, "Can I touch it?"
Absolutely. I'm not sure where that came from. I'm not sure.
I think
That's not a
I
thing.
think that other races or other nationalities or whatever you want to call them, they are curious. I really believe that they are absolutely curious, and they see what you just said. That it's
for sure.
beautiful. It's
For sure.
beautiful.
Let me tell you something. If you are able to confidently wear your hair in that manner, you're trouble. Because that knows who that means you fully understand who you are. And you embrace it. So now that's a problem.
That's right. That's right. And that's the only reason why we're having children in school experience, oh, you've got to cut that off. Or, oh, you can't wear your hairstyle this way. And who was the young girl who went to school with all these beautiful bows and whatnot in her hair? And they waited until it was time for her to be saluted for completing her year before they wanted to tell her, oh, well, you can't come in here looking like that. You can't upstage us.
It's so unfortunate, really.
Speaking of which, tell me what you feel when you see our hairstyles, especially braiding, because braiding is the most appropriated hairstyle.
It is.
When you see that our hairstyles are misappropriated, I'm sorry, and they're claimed as belonging to others, what is your first thought, and what do you feel about that?
You said a lot. And so I'm going to try to round it up really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't claim the term braids, that every culture has some sort of connection to braids, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's for everybody to love, admire, participate, and wear, right? However, what you can't do is pretend like you don't see me. What you can't do is pretend that I'm not here. So if I'm wearing a style and then you wear it and rename it, you're saying that I'm not here. Right. And that is unacceptable. Right. You can pay homage. There is nothing wrong with seeing a style, wanting to wear it. We all do that. It takes nothing to say, hey, the way that Samantha wore her hair, I love it. I'm paying homage to that. No problem.
Everything. So what have been some of the roadblocks that you have that you've greeted, obviously, and you've hurdled them?
There have been many, and there still are many. And so we are moving in a wonderful direction in that things are opening up now. We have the Crown Act. We have opportunities for people to now voice and verbalize their feelings when things happen. Like you saw the young man who was the wrestler who had his locks cut off, which that was so horrific.
It broke my heart.
It had nothing to do with him playing the sport. It had everything to do with that young woman not liking it. Period. And from day one, wanted that hair gone and didn't know how she could do it. And she chose that particular time to do it. And so, I have helped many women in very specific jobs fight for their position. It's illegal. You can say I need to be conservative, but what you can't say is I can't wear braids. Well, why not?
Right.
If you want me to wear it in a particular manner, I can do that. But to say I can't wear braids or locks or this or that, you have to tell me why.
Right. And I fully agree. With that. I worked in corporate America for many, many years. And fortunately, I had never been challenged. I actually wore, when I was working at a hospital in Philadelphia, and I wore headdress and everything. And they were very diverse. Now they did, kind of look at me sideways, and I wasn't welcome to certain tables. That's why I had to leave corporate America. But being bold enough to express who we actually are, not who we pretend to be, is difficult. It's difficult for us to do here and abroad. Because there's a certain expectation. It's very interesting to me that if I'm a Muslim woman, and I wear a hijab, or kimar, or however you call it, if I wear that, I might be more accepted than if I come in with my hair in its natural state.
Yeah.
You understand? And not pitting against Muslims, because most of us are Muslim, but I'm just saying that, it should, just as you said, it's my human right to wear my hair as it grows out of my scalp.
It's so unfortunate that that's a conversation we have to have, but it's the power that's behind the hair. It's powerful.
Let's talk about that Juneteenth theme that you did.
So amazing.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see more pictures and video and everything. When did this happen? How did it happen? How, did you get any funding to put it together? Like, how did this all come about?
So this has been a long time in the making. And so this is our first year being virtual, but I am going to take you back to the very first year and then to inception, right? Okay. And so I was blessed to, whenever God gives me an idea, he gives it to me all one, just a full idea. And so when he did give me that idea, I received it so welcomely, because of course I want a day for braids. Of course. Why wouldn't I want that? And then now, how do I move forward? And so the struggle was, how do you do this? I had no clue. And so I began to ask around and ask politicians, and I had to get a certain amount of signatures, and I had to do all these different things. And a young woman, one of my clients said, Deb, this is what you need to do. She literally walked me through the process. I was able to get a proclamation from our borough president that signifies that July 29th is an official day. It's a day for us to celebrate the culture, history, design, and beauty of braids.
Yes!
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Right? And so
awesome.
That was an amazing day, not just for me. So I get the benefit of having God give me this gift, but we all get to celebrate. This is not a me thing. This is an industry thing. And that's how I move. This is about all of us being in an amazing place to celebrate an amazing day that goes right back to our culture.
Right, right. That's beautiful. And congratulations.
Thank you. So proud.
I would thank you again for allowing yourself to be used as a vessel for us.
Absolutely.
If we don't always need a savior, but when someone comes in and they decide that they're going to take up the shield and sword for us, we must celebrate them. So I celebrate you, sister.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, that one we're definitely whenever we speak again, we're definitely going to expound on that, because Juneteenth is a very, very important celebration for us as Black people or Africans born in America, because it's a small portion of what we deserve.
Yeah, it really is.
A fraction of what we deserve.
It is.
And to incorporate the celebration of hair, that represents power for us.
You could see how so organically that fits, right?
Yes.
It is our mouthpiece. Our hair is our mouthpiece, right?
Yes.
It's our freedom.
And it is our crown. As the Rastas speak of locks, and they speak of your hair, they speak of your hair as your crown. And when we either remove our hair or we do anything to our hair, it makes a complete difference in how people interact with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about braiding and fashion. So I see a lot. First of all, I love color.
Yes, I love color.
When I looked at that video, I said, I am in love with this.
Yeah.
This whole movement that you have, I'm in love with, because it's not just braiding, it's expression.
It's expression.
All of the different things that you were doing with the hairstyles and the incorporating braids into this and the body paint and all of that. Tell me about that experience.
So braids is the umbrella for a lot of different techniques, right? So twists, and not locks is a separate thing, but multi dimensional looks, and like a twist and a braid and the this and the that. That's all under braids, and it's all beautiful, right? So why not show the vastness of all of it proudly, right? And beautiful. And so making this documentary, it was so important that all shapes and sizes, beautiful, right? Because there is something that's so distasteful that is attached to our very being. Right. And it's always in the negative. And so this documentary had to move forward in beauty and in truth and in culture and history.
Yes.
And I think we were able to earmark that.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And it's so important, especially now, especially at this time, especially in 2020, when we were greeted with so many challenges, especially as people of color. It's very important, especially the Black woman ourselves. Lack of protection, lack of being, escalated as we should be.
Yeah.
Lack of being adored, being criticized for being weak, and then being criticized for being too strong. There's so much that we need to express. Quite often when a woman breaks up with a man, or she leaves a job, what's the first thing we do? We do something different with our hair.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing that we do, because we are so connected to it. And I think that's all women generally.
Yeah.
But for us, especially, when we're greeted with challenges, it's like, oh, I need to do something different. And the first thing that we want to do is do something different with that hair.
Yeah.
And
But our hair holds on to our spirit as well.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
so if you're in a time that's not reflecting a good time, it got to go.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I want to talk to you about is your products.
Yes.
Your hair care products.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go into just talking about, well, when we talk, as you speak to us about your hair care products, please talk to us about certain things such as the braids that are way too tight.
Yes.
Okay. Alopecia.
Absolutely. Which is rampant.
Other hair loss issues, other hair issues, products that do not products that are not working for us and are not intended for us.
Yeah.
And why your products are different and what you offer.
Okay. So I actually have a full line of vegan hair care. So it literally takes care of you from your hair to your toes, as I like to say. Mm-hmm. It is an amazing way to take care of yourself. And oftentimes as women, we don't do that. We think that that is a luxury, that is something that is for certain women, or we don't have the time for it. And that is as important as your air to breathe is. Mm-hmm. You have to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have an amazing line: hair and body washes, conditioners, body scrubs, body candles, lip balm. So it really is a full line of foundational products. And why I say foundational products, those are your core products that will help to lay the foundation for healthy hair growth. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, there is not any product on this earth that will solely do the job. And this is where I come in. Diet, exercise, good mental health. You cannot have amazing healthy hair without those components. And so my first line of defense is health. I need you to be healthy, but I can't approach you in that way. And so women tune in when I talk about hair. Mm-hmm. That's just an opportunity for me to do a sideline and go talk about health.
That's right.
Because that's what's most important. If that's what you want, I'll do it through hair, but I'm going to get you right back over here into health.
Right. What advice would you give to women who are seeking braiders? Like, if I want to get my hair braided. Mm-hmm. How do I evaluate a salon or a braider to know whether or not they're going to add too much tension to my hair?
Right.
If they're going to care about the health of my hair.
Right.
If if the braids are going to be too heavy or too, if I'm allergic to synthetic hair, which I found out I have a problem with certain synthetic types of hair.
Yeah.
And things like that. Tell our viewers what they should be doing when they're looking for a braider.
So first I want to start with, you mentioned this up here, this temple, this crown, right? You would never let anybody up here that you don't trust and have great confidence in, right? We're in an amazing time of social media, right? You can go on people's IG pages. Word of mouth has never not worked, right? You can see it. You can ask the person who's had the experience, so you use that. And now you talk to them. Call them up. Hey, I have some questions for you. That's what they used to do with me. Ask the questions, right? See what people are saying about them. We're in an information era, right? And so it's there for your taking. It's there for you to see it.
So while you are a braider, I know that you have experienced women who have experienced hair loss due to different products and things like that. What would you Where would you, I know that I mentioned the three elements, the mind, the body, and the spirit must be
Yeah.
right. Um, but there are women that I even know who are desperate to find out how can I treat, this alopecia, or how can I treat this, you know, do I go to a dermatologist, or do I get involved? I know you already mentioned the three, but I think that the approach, or how they should approach it initially, is a problem. Like, it's shame. If they lose their hair, there's shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how would you suggest dealing with that?
So, as a licensed professional, and I'm always going to recommend that you go to a licensed professional. We are licensed natural stylists or cosmetologists. We are not doctors. And so, a trichologist and a dermatologist is probably where you want to start. First, to get the diagnosis of what it is. We know through training what to look for. That's not my skill set. And so to take you to that next level, if you have alopecia, I can do things cosmetically, but I can't do things in terms of bringing the hair back. Alopecia is something that there's different types of alopecia: tractal alopecia, alopecia aorta, which is not coming back. So there are different forms of alopecia. So we have to first get the right diagnosis and then move forward with what we can do to fix it. And I will tell you that we, as consumers, have to first start with truth and patience, right? And so alopecia didn't happen overnight. We're pretty aware of what we're doing at that time that caused the damage.
Yeah.
And so we have to own that.
Right.
Right? Now, if we know this young lady does not do good hair because she hasn't been doing hair, and we still go sit there because it's $2, then what's important? Is it the style, or is it the health of your hair? Which one? Right?
Right. I think that a lot of women, I used to do that until I started braiding my own hair.
Right.
A lot of women are, they look at, okay, well, if I spend this much money, then, it might not be worth it to me. But evaluating, I think that one of the things that we need to be careful of is treating our hair in healthy manners, like thinking of it as health. Is I'm not going to sit down and eat a plate of something that's going to go in and make me vomit later. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So if you want healthy hair, then that there's certain things that you have to do. If you have to save to get your hair to a certain level,
we do it for everything else, right?
Right.
Louboutin
Exactly.
is not lacking any clothes.
I'm sorry.
Louboutin is not lacking any money, but we have those, right?
Exactly.
With no second thoughts.
That's right. That's right. So
this is something that I often say. Natural hair ain't shit.
That's right.
It's not shit.
That's right.
Right? It isn't.
Right. That's right.
So when people hear that, they go, oh my God. But I say that because it isn't. So why treat it that way?
That's right. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Because it makes perfect sense. And for little girls, I think that, and I'm sure that you would agree, that this is an opportunity for us to begin educating our little girls, our princesses, about the glory of Black hair and the glory of wearing braids and wearing locks and wearing natural hair, as a beautiful expression.
Yeah.
I love the fact that my sister, she has two daughters, and she allows them to be expressive with their hair. I love it. I love it. It's absolutely. Sometimes they'll wear the same hairstyle, and I love it because when we share with our little girls how beautiful they are with their natural hair, even if they decide to do something different. If we celebrate them, you know, at least we give them the foundation. We let them
Yes.
know, listen,
Yes.
the way that your hair is growing out of your scalp is beautiful. Whatever you choose to do with it,
Yes.
hey, but
Yes.
it is beautiful in its natural state.
Yeah.
And once we get there, because we're still at the colorism place,
We
we're
are.
still at the, you know, nappy hair, good hair phase. We're still there, you know,
We
so
are
we
still there.
still
Can I
have to
tell you
keep
that this 3A, 3B, 3C thing, that's how we interpret it?
3C.
So these numbers and letters,
Right,
the hierarchy, the
right,
straighter the curlier your hair is,
right,
the
right,
better you receive.
right.
The nappier, those numbers get a little bit higher and those letters get a little bit
I'm a witness.
okay. So it's the paper bag test without having a paper bag. I think that it is it's great that it's there because it gives people a place to start. But what has happened is that it is the paper bag test.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because
Right.
all hair is beautiful. It's on your head, it's healthy, right?
Yes.
So we experience the full range of hair as a Black woman. You
Right.
go from straight
Mhm.
to super kinky, and
Right.
it's all good.
Right. It's all good.
It's
Right.
all
Right.
good.
Right. I keep hearing this phrase of, yeah, he or she has this good hair. And I'm like, really? You know, and I want to go into it with them, but then I can already see where their head is. And it's like, you know, when I have the opportunity, I educate people with I don't have as much education as you do, but I personally, my personal hair journey started in 2009. My personal natural hair journey
Yeah.
started in 2009 when and before that, I used to do my own weaves. I used to
Yeah.
wear wigs,
Yeah.
and I had put this weave into my hair,
Yeah.
and it felt so unnatural. 2
Wow.
days later, I took it out and I said, "I can never do
Not
this
do this
again."
again.
And I
Yeah.
never did it again, and I struggled. I struggled so bad. And then I finally found that locks worked best for
When you
my
say
hair.
struggle, what was your struggle? Was it finding a style or being comfortable with yourself in a look that society says is not attractive? Where was the struggle?
Both.
Yeah.
The struggle was now you spoke of, or we both spoke of, you know, growing up, you know, the perms, the straightening comb, and I told you how, you know, I was told I had nappy hair
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and I was teased in school, and I was
Yeah.
teased by my family, you know. The struggle for me was after having all that stuff happen to my hair,
Yeah.
trying to get it back to its natural state. So I didn't understand that my hair was in such a terrible mess
Yeah.
until I had to cut it all off
Wow.
and begin again. And then when my hair
As a
started to
rebirthing, literally.
right, and
Yeah.
um when I did visit my rebirth of my hair, I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm touching it. And now, even now, not my locks are like this. You still keep seeing me touch it because I love my hair
Doesn't it
so
feel
much.
so good?
I love it
It
so
feels so
much.
good. Yeah.
And one of the other thing is that I did not know how to style it so that it would be acceptable for me to feel beautiful as well as to fit into societal norms
Yeah.
or societal expectations.
Hmm.
It wasn't until I decided I don't give a damn about their expectations
Right.
that I became
Right.
free. And
Right.
there's a freedom in looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, "Hey, I'm okay with you.
Yeah.
I
I like that
love you."
girl.
You know what I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
what's that, boo?
Yeah.
That's my boo.
Yeah.
You know,
For
I
sure.
am my boo first. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that goes back to what we're teaching the young girls too.
Yeah.
You know, what are we teaching them? Are we teaching them that it's okay to be who you are? Or are we putting this extra weaves in their hair all the way down to the floor that they can't that their little necks can't handle? We can't do that to them.
Cannot.
You
It makes me
know?
sad because the trajectory that our young girls are on right now, they will experience alopecia probably in their teens now. And that's the unfortunate story, right?
It's an equivalent to putting a young girl too early in heels. You will wreck her skeletal structure.
Yeah.
If you give her heels at too young an age, it's going to mess with her skeletal structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same thing, and we have to be very, very cautious of how we do that. So wrapping up, which I could talk to you for hours, girl.
For sure.
I do want you to mention one more time your product line.
Yes.
The name and where we can find it.
Okay. So it is Fabulously Therapeutic Vegan Spa Collection. The name of the company is OM, and you can find all products at Oh My Heavenly Hair.
Oh My Heavenly Hair.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh My
Heavenly Hair. Yes.
I
So
love
on myheavenlyhair.com, you can see the video there as well. We have merchandise there. So it's some really good information as well. So it's a nice place to visit.
Okay. And tell us, what other things are you involved in now? Other than the braiding, and are you still writing?
I am. I'm still an editor. I'm currently writing for World Bride magazine. I'm still in the masthead of Hype Hair magazine. I have my salon, which is in Bed-Stuy, my beloved Bed-Stuy.
Give us the address, girl. The address.
407 Lewis Avenue, Brooklyn. Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, between Decatur and McDonough. And I would love to see you. I would love to see you all.
And what's the name of the salon again?
The name of the salon is OM. OMHH. OM, which stands for Oh My Heavenly Hair, right?
Heavenly Hair. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I would like to thank you very much for speaking with me and MUZILOG Woman. Once MUZILOG Woman officially launches, which will be in November, I would like to schedule to have you back, see what's going on. It'll be winter. One of the things that I notice about my hair is that there are a lot of changes that go on with my hair through the seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's definitely, different hair care things I think that we can definitely expound on. I really appreciate you for being kind of a herald for us in beautiful Black hair care and braids, especially because we love braids. And one thing that you said in the mini documentary, can you please give us more? Please.
Yes.
One of the things that you mentioned was that you like the movement of hair. And I think that's a beautiful expression of braids, is that it causes the movement of hair because our hair usually grows and curl where it comes this way and it doesn't come this way.
So our hair will grow wider before it grows longer. It goes this way, then it goes this way.
Right. So that's one of the things that, I think that when we return, we'll be able to talk a lot about. I do want to talk a lot about, the fashion and your incorporations into fashion because it's absolutely stunning. Stunning. Yeah. When I watched the video, I saw some things that I had not seen in quite a long time. I've been to hair shows. I've been in hair shows. I've seen different things. I've been in fashion shows and things. And what you're doing is outstanding. And
I appreciate you so much, Nadira. I appreciate you and thank you for inviting me on. I feel so special to participate. And I'm so excited for your show. I'm so excited. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be talking to you offline about your contributing to this MUZILOG Woman function. Yes, I would love that because we need the education that you have.
We do. This is something that I literally spent my life doing. And so it's important to me to give truth and information, right? So I'm going to do the research that it needs to find out what it is.
Thank you, Debra.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Right. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Don't